Hi, I'm Stephen Cronin, thanks for watching again, and today I thought I'd paint a little river scene flowing through through the woods. So I'll quickly give you a brief overview of what I've done. I've just made this one up as I've gone along. If you can imagine, we've got the river flowing through here with all the reflections from the various trees. From the most distant ones there, put in while the paint was still wet, to the big foreground strong toned monsters. But before I show you how I painted this one, let's take a quick look at the materials. So these are my colours. We've got ultramarine, lemon, the cadmium yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber and light red. I'm using the large on Ranson egg brush, and I've got 15 by 11 watercolour paper. I'm going to start off with a big brush. This is just clean water all over, just to soften everything up and stop the paper getting all crinkly. Then I'm going to go a bit of raw sienna, cadmium yellow, and raw sienna, more yellow. And at this point I've no idea what it's going to look like. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. So that's all the way down to the bottom. I'm adding a bit of ultramarine now just to darken it up a bit. Yellow, green, just try a bit of that in there. I might add a bit of burnt umber to it as well. See what that looks like. A bit more yellow, more blue and yellow. Brush that in from the sides down there. See what that looks like. And basically, the general gist of what I'm trying to do is create light areas and dark areas. Nice dark up there, something down there. So that's my sort of general background that I'm working with. And then what I'm going to do next is take a little rigger brush, bit of brown, bit of blue, bit of yellow, and I'm going to bash in some distant trees, just flicking up with the rigger brush, and then I don't know if there's going to be water down there or not, but there probably will be actually. So I'm just pulling down the reflections as I'm going along. A bit more brown, a bit more blue, a bit more yellow. I'm going to paint a few on this side as well. Pull down those reflections. Back to the big brush. Just soaking up all that water at the bottom. And what I also might do, get a nice chisel edge, bit of brown, bit of blue, pop a few more in with the hake. These ones are going to be slightly stronger. A few reflections down there. Something going on up there as well. Little reflections going down. Soak the water up at the bottom. See how the paper stretched slightly, so I'm just going to pull it flat against a piece of plywood and refix it just so that it's flat against the wood, so I can work with it again. And I'm going to go back to the rigger brush, a bit more brown, a bit more blue, a bit more yellow. Take a few more up. Pull down the reflections. Bit more paint on the brush. Complete opposite of the egg brush, obviously this little rigger brush doesn't hold much water or paint, so you have to keep reloading it. The hake will hold volumes and volumes, and that's the most difficult thing I'd imagine most others have And I first get the height brush, just controlling the volume of water that's on there. It can be a bit of a nightmare, but stick with it and you'll get there. These are just branches and twigs and things going on. A few more in the reflection down the bottom, a few more on the right hand side. A few more down there. Back with the 8 brush. Brown, blue, bit of green. A few more trees. Put the reflections down. On this side. Now I'm trying to think exactly where's this land now going to lie. I might put that in there actually. I'll just clean the brush. I want to get a light colour now, so I'm just going to squeeze the water out of it just by squeezing my thumb and forefinger. Any excess can just go onto the tea towel like that. And you've got a pretty dry brush in quite a short space of time. I'm just going straight into the cadmium yellow. And I'm going to work out where do I want the land to be. So I'm thinking that's going to come down there, something like that. Quite steep. It's going up. There's like a big hill thing there. And it goes up and down, comes across. A few little reflections of the water there, of the land there. And some land up there. Quite a dry brush, so there's not much paint coming on, so I'm just sort of working out where the land lies. So I'm imagining the water sort of coming around here like that and then into the foreground. I might have another layer down there, I think. A bit more land, I think, down there. Something like that, I think. So see how the hairs are all over the place. So I need to get them all back together. So all I'm doing is just dipping the tips into the water just to bring all the hairs back together. If there's too much water, just take it off on the tea towel like that and then you're good to go again. I'm going into the burnt umber, ultramarine. I think I want one going up there like that. Put that reflection in. And another one cutting across it. Something like so. Another one up there. Making sure I'm not painting over anything in the background that I quite like. Let's put some twigs on there. So I've gone back to the rigger brush. And you see sort of dark cutting across the light there, quite a nice effect. That's always what you're looking for when you're painting, light against dark, counter change. So brown, blue, bit of green. Going all over the place, these leaves, branches. Some going up, some down, some left, some right. Back one down there. We want some on this side here. And because we've been putting it in at varying degrees of wetness of the paper, some have softened right off, some are a bit stronger. And so you get this depth, sense of depth. See what I might do. These are going to be the sort of the last line out before I put the foreground ones in, the strongest ones of all. Don't forget your reflections. Right, let's do some a bit more on this land, I think. So I've cleaned the brush. I'm just going back into that lemon yellow again. Just going up there. I don't want this. That was a bit too wet. That was. It's a bit drier. Again, just sort of going across like that. Then doing in there like that. A bit of brown in there as well. Muddy bits and things going on. Let's just put the bank in. Let's put the distant one in first, I think. There's a few little rocks here and there. Little stones and things. It's so hard not to overdo it with these when you just like get a feel for it. I'm running out of hands. Little rocks and things going on there. Whoops! Got me card on the floor. And some reflections. Reflections down there. Just make sure this paper's flat against the board. It was stretched slightly more than just comfortable. And a few little things going down there. Right, now I want some real big, thick, strong trees. So these are the closest ones to us. So these want to be the maximum strength. So I'm just dip the corner of the brush in the water. Nice thick juicy paint on the palette. Where should we go? Let's have one there like that. Just go straight across there. Off this foreground shoreline. Let's have some twigs going down there. And up there like that. Just cutting across. Few things on the water. Where should we have another one? Bit of brown, bit of blue. I'm going straight up there. That one's right off now. That's right way down. And there's something forking off there. Bit of brown. Back to the little brush. Little twigs and things coming off it. I'm just going to have another one just there, I think. That one's slightly bigger. I don't want them all the same distance apart. Never want them symmetrical. It looks so unnatural. Nature grows in all different ways. Shapes and forms. So that's, I think that's all the trees I want to get in now. So let's pop some shadows in. Bit of brown, bit of red, bit of blue. Just making a shadowy colour. Right then, let's just start putting our little shadows in. That's sort of coming across there like that. There's a few down there, coming down. I'm taking most of that off now on the tea towel, and it's just a few more little shadows like this. A few little reflections in, a few more shadows there. It's not big up there, I think. Just all the sort of shadowy areas. Got some shadow down there. Don't forget the shadows on these down. Some sort of bit of brown, bit of red, bit of blue. The lights are just little dark bits here and there I'm just putting in. Bit of rough. Whoops, there goes the palette. If you don't like it, just paint straight over it like that. A bit more. I think I'm pretty much there. I think all I'm going to do next is just go a bit of brown, bit of blue, and have a little bird flying right through this area, just like that. And then over there, I'm just going to stick my name. I'm going to call this one finished. Right, let's see what it looks like with the name on. So here's the painting in the main, so let's go and have a closer look at it. You'll remember I started off by just painting in a load of variations on the green theme, really. I just wanted a load of light areas and dark areas, so I've brushed it in, and it also makes it look like sort of like a mass of foliage in the distance, as well as sort of light and shadow. We've got our sort of light area down the middle and our darker areas either side. The initial distant trees put in while the paper was still very wet with the rigger brush, and you can just about see those there right in the distance. And you can see the variations there. You've got the most distant ones there, and as they get closer and closer, and it sort of ultimately got the big foreground one here, put in with the most paint and least amount of water, helping push those ones right back, just creating that sense of depth as we look through the trees towards the light. In fact, I've just noticed I should have dried this before I put the shadows in, because you can see the shadows have just faded, very, very weak. It would have been more dramatic. So see the light coming from here, catching these trees, and then strong shadows coming across there. That's why normally I'll dry it before I put the shadows in. And then all these reflections of the trees above into the water area just helps make it look more like water, a bit more realistic. Got a few little rocks here running along the river bank, scraped in, sort of light catching the left hand side, and then got shadows on the right. Got the odd little rock here scraped on the left hand bank, and also a few down here in the foreground. You can see the sort of lights coming through here, just catching the tops of them. We've got the shadows on the left hand side of these rocks. So the general idea is to try and represent every single tone. If you imagine it on a scale of 1 to 10, from your lightest tones all the way through to your darkest ones like these there. That'll help create the most amount of interest and depth in your work. And then finally we've got our little bird here flying through the scene. Well, that's all for today's painting. I hope you like that. I hope you was painting along with me. Don't forget to keep practicing. Very best of luck to you, and I'll see you again soon.